All right, let's go ahead and continue finding the 5-number summary and creating a box and whisker plot for this. So I'm just going to repeat the set just so we can reference it a little easier than scrolling up every time. So there's 2 10s, 10 and a 10. There's a 12. There's a 13. There's 3 17s. And there's 2 20s. All right, so there's the set. We had already found quartile 2 above, because remember quartile 2 is the same as the median. And I'm going to find that just one more time so I can show you guys how we're separating the data. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and we were left with the middle right here at 17. So our quartile 2 is 17. Remember, quartile 2 and median are the same thing. Now, the reason I wanted to show this to you is because since we have an odd number in this set, remember we just take the numbers around for our quartile 1 and quartile 3. So the 4 values I'll use for quartile 1 are 10, 10, 12, and 13. And then for quartile 3, I'll use 17, 17, 20, and 20. Okay? So let's start off with min and max, because obviously those are the easiest. The minimum is just the smallest value in the set. That's going to be 10. The maximum is of course just the biggest number in the set. That's going to be 20. And now we'll have to do a little bit more work as for quartile 1 and quartile 3. So we need to find the median of these. Remember, once again, we're finding the middle. So I could go 1, 1, and I could see, of course, that I'm left with 2 in the middle. Now I have 10 and 12, but remember I want to find the number that's in between those. So I find the mean of them. That means I add them, 10 plus 12. That gives me 22. And then I divide by 2. The reason I divide by 2 is because we're only talking about 2 values here. And that is going to give me 11. I want to ask myself if it makes sense. Does it make sense that 11 is in between 10 and 12? Yes, it does. So that works out. All right, same thing over here. I'm going to find my middle. 17 and 20 are in the middle, but I need to find the value in between them. Once again, how do I do that? I find the mean, the average of them, because that's going to give me the value right in the middle. So when I do 17 plus 20, that gives me 37. And then I'm going to divide that by 2. So when I do 37 divided by 2, I am going to get 18 and a half. So I know my quartile 3 is 18 and a half. And now I have all of the values. Yesterday when looking at some people's work, I noticed that some people had quartile 1s that were bigger than quartile 3. That should never be the case. Maybe in some cases with the data, they could be the same. But since our data has to be ordered, quartile 1 should never be bigger than quartile 3. They should move in order. All right, so let's continue. This lets me scroll up and create a box and whisker plot. So of course, once again, we have to create a scale. Since our data ranges from 10 to 20, I would say either 1s or 2s would be a good scale to go by. So maybe I'll go by 2s. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and you could put a little line in between just to make it more accurate, easier for you to find those places. So I'm starting off with 10. I'm going to put a dot above where 10 is. Then I have 11. I'm going to put a dot above where 11 is. Then 17. That's going to be over here. Then 18 and a half. That's going to be about in between 18 and 19. And then 20. As simple as that. Now you just put a line through. And remember, our last step would just to put a box around our quartiles. So a tile around your quartiles. So this is quartile 1 and quartile 2. I'm going to put a box around those. And then quartile 2 to quartile 3. I'm going to put a box around those. So this is our box and whisker plot. Remember, each section of the box and whisker plot represents 25% of the data. And that is it. All right, hopefully you did a good job. Remember, raise your hand and ask questions if you need extra